All right, everyone, it is Dokkan time, and the freaking hype is real for freaking Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Let's go! Anyways, so thank you for stopping by my channel. If you're new here, I make Dragon Ball videos in general, or at least I hope to in the future. Primarily at the current moment, I make build videos for Dokkan battle units. And basically what we do is we go through the breakdown of the unit. We go through his leader options, defense options, build suggestions, places where you can get their equipment, and yeah. So if you enjoy my content, please do Big Bang Kamehameha the like and subscribe button. Now, let's go ahead and just jump right in. Or heck, let's Dragon Fist right in. So, 200% options for Gogeta are everywhere. And I do mean everywhere. Like, there is a lot of 200% options here. I mean, you got the 7th anniversary duo over here. The 8th anniversary duo is going to get an easy A soon on 11th anniversary. You got the Great Ape Super Saiyan 3, 4 Goku. You got AGL Gogeta. You got the new Goku and Vegito-less unit. There is plenty of 200, 220 options for this guy. He has and of course his own leader is going to be his best home, but this guy he's nice and comfy on lots of teams. He doesn't have a problem going anywhere. As far as what his leader skill is, he is a Carnival unit, and he leads GT heroes, Ki +4, HP attack and defense of 220%. Ki +4, I don't feel like is mandatory, but it's actually nice to have that little bit of extra ki. Now, as far as his 12 ki goes, he raises attack for 1 turn, and he has a 70% chance of greatly raising it again for the turn. Now, I don't like this part of his kit. This is just kind of annoying. We've seen this in a couple other units previously in the past, namely the Intelligence Yellow Coin Ginyu Force unit. So there will be some turns where you are just getting a huge increase in damage, and then there will be some turns that you don't. And the only thing you'll be able to dictate it on is the 12 ki just going off like crazy. So technically speaking, there is a 70% chance for you to raise your attack by 80% for the turn. That is where his damage is coming in from. Now, his 18 ki super is greatly raising attack for 4 turns, and then once again, a great chance of further massively raising his attack for 1 turn. So he has a 70% chance to raise his attack by basically 150%, and he keeps a 50% stack from the previous turn. Now, it's only for 4 turns, though. Now, that is like an insane amount of damage. Like, it is actually crazy how much damage he does. I'm actually a little bit terrified of how much damage he does. Like, I'm afraid of what they're going to give us as far as battles go, because the first fight that we get where we need this level of damage is actually going to be scary. But anyways. So, passive skill is as follows. Activates the entrance animation when another 2 or more GT Heroes category allies are on the team. So, this does imply that you need 2 extra. So, you do need himself and 2 other GT Heroes. Not too difficult considering the Super Saiyan 3/4 Goku is almost mandatory to go along with him, in my personal opinion. We got loads of easy A's coming in. Pan, a banner unit on Omega's banner, was actually a very good unit to be throwing onto the team. And there are the 7th anniversary GT duo, of course, that is his perfect linking partner. So you have lots of options to be able to get this to go off. Now, he launches an additional super attack and crits on his very first turn, basically, when this goes off. I don't like the fact that it literally is just 1 turn and it only activates once. It's interesting that they chose to do this because he can never hit his maximum because he has to carry a 18 ki super from the previous turn to be at maximum. So, I mean, this is great. It's awesome for short content, but yeah. Superclass allies get a key +3 and defense of 70% for 4 turns. Once again, super nice for short content. Basic effects are key +3 attack and defense 300%. He gets an extra key +1 per key sphere obtained, so an AGL key sphere would give him 3 instead of 2 in this case. He has attacks effective against all types, 50% chance to crit, guards all attacks, 50% damage reduction, and then launches an additional super attack for free. When attacking, attack +300%. When receiving an attack, defense +200%. And receiving a super attack, defense +200% again. So these do stack on top of each other. So if he gets super attacked, and there was no normals beforehand, he just gets a 200% on both. When receiving a Ki Blast super attack, he has a 70% chance of nullifying it, and he nullifies it straight up if your HP is 70% or less. That is nuts. 70%, he just nullifies a Ki Blast and counters. The counter on this guy is going to be insane. After receiving 3 or more attacks in battle, launches an additional super attack starting from the character's next attacking turn. So he has to receive 3 attacks, and then he will be able to launch an additional super attack starting from the next turn. So basically, he's auto triple supering once he receives 3 attacks. He can triple supering basically. He can't quad unless your hidden potential goes off. Now, after receiving 7 or more attacks in battle, he'll get an extra key +4, and he auto performs crits. So we have auto performing crits in here. He does not need to have any critical in his hidden potential system. It is worthless. But I will definitely say that additional is probably still the best way to go. I can definitely say that some people are going to be like, yeah, just give him dodge. He doesn't need dodge. This dude does. Do you see these damage numbers up here? Like, do you see these damage numbers? 150% potentially on his 18 key, and then every additional super is getting like an 80% increase potentially. Like, the damage amount is actually insane, and there's no reason not to give him additional. If you don't give him additional, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. It's not even a suggestion anymore in this case. I'm lying. I'm lying. Calm down. Please calm down. His active skill is Dragon Fist. Massively raises attack and causes ultimate damage to the enemy, and attack and defense is 70%, and all of the attacks become crit for 1 turn. He can activate this starting from the character, starting from next attacking turn after the character receives an attack. So basically on turn 3, you can activate this, and he'll perform crits for free. If you didn't notice, he can crit. Yeah, he crits. That's Gogeta for you. Link skill, Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, Saiyan Roar, Shocking Speed, GT, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. I really can't emphasize enough of you needing to get Saiyan Roar. It's 25% extra attack in there. That's a huge increase. If you don't get that, I mean, his attack will still be very good, but it's a pretty big deal. Categories wise, he's on a good decent amount of them, obviously. I'm not going to go through every one of them. My throat is tired. Similar links are as follows. GT 7th Anniversary Duo that transform into Gogeta is his best partner. They are very good still to this day. Not as good in the first few turns. Turn 1, they're solid as like tanking wise, but they still do need to build up quite a bit, which isn't bad. You just need to make sure that you're actually building these guys up if you're going to keep them on rotation, because Gogeta's going to just wipe out phases like constantly, and they might not be able to stack soon enough. There is a temporary buff with the LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku until the end of the GDC, which is August 11th. We are getting a super easy A for this GT Goku right here, so this will be a very decent partner to be rolling with in the future. And then obviously his best linking partner is actually this Super Saiyan 4 Goku that was a 10th anniversary unit. He gives an extra 10% damage reduction and 70% buff to Gogeta. That giving him 60% damage reduction and guard. He's basically living everything. We'll get further into that with his defense numbers. Speaking of which, let's just go ahead and go jump into those said defense numbers. Now, these defense numbers are compliments of Halvard. Appreciate you, dude. Now, before you see these defense numbers, please, hold yourself. Hold the chair, strap yourself down, and get ready. That's right. He has no defense. No defense. No defense. Actually, he has plenty of defense. He has loads of defense. He actually has loads of defense. Not really. So he's a little finicky when it comes to his defense numbers, obviously. So basically, with intro, when receiving an attack, you're at 1.4 million defense. Once you receive a super attack on top of that, you're at 2.4 million defense. So he's getting that defense when it counts at 2.4 million. He's got guard and 50% damage reduction. So he's easily tanking 5 to 6 million supers, no problem. Now, with active skill, he's getting up to 4 million defense. So he's super safe on active no matter what. And then with 40% support, we're getting up to 4.5. Now, the biggest thing about this is that this is the reason the way this is because he does not have any defense on super. Now this is not a good thing, technically speaking, as far as aging wise goes, but because he has 50% damage reduction and guard, Super Saiyan 3/4 Goku exists to give him even more damage reduction. He should be pretty good for at least a good year or two, at the very least. My only concern will ever be is when and if a meta curve happens to the point of where we are actually taking like 10, 12 million supers or something like that. At that point, he will have obviously aged. At the current time of writing, I would say he's safe on 7 mil, maybe even 8 and 9 million supers. But any higher than that, if he didn't have the support from the Super Saiyan 4 Goku to get that extra damage reduction, he just wouldn't survive. Like, this guy is actually key to him surviving like these new Rose battle for GDC. He can tank that Rose at full buildup with the Super Saiyan 4 Goku support at Rainbow. But if he doesn't have the Super Saiyan 4 Goku support and he's not rainbowed, you will still die. So, I mean, Gogeta is amazing. Like, he is super cool. He's super fun. He's amazing. Potentially the best unit in this freaking game right now. But he's not immortal. He does have his limits. Very, very high limits, I mind you. And I will definitely say this is probably one of the most dupe-dependent units we have gotten. Because he does not get defense on super, your defense will vary purely based on your hidden potential and dupes. But with that being said, let's just go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty of stuff here. So first, I would like to get into his equipment orbs. His equipment orbs can be obtained specifically from the Global Campaign Special Battle 2025 in Stage 4. In order to get the bronze equip, you'll have to finish the 4-star. If you want to get the silver equip, you got to get the 5-star done. And then if you want the gold equip, you'll have to get the 6-star done. Now, as far as what Gogeta does in this fight, he's only got 160 normals. He still is massively raising his attack, though, on super. So that 160 turns into about a 320 normal. And then his super attack goes from 480 to roughly 1 million on super. So he's not doing much here. The first one is a gimme. He also gets an extra 40% attack up to 160 for each turn pass. So you do want to defeat Gogeta as soon as you possibly can. He does have an action list. His actions are preordained and they come out in a very specific order. So when you're in this stage, this is for the first stage, by the way. He's going to normal 8 times, and then he will super attack on the 9th attack, and then he'll super again on the 10th attack. So he's going to double super you. Yeah, he's going to double super, which is actually crazy. And then he'll do the same process again. He will normal attack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then on the 9th attack, he will super attack and then he'll double super again. And then he will normal 8 times, and then super attack on the 29th and 30th. So you get the pattern here. Just keep that in mind of how he actually operates. Now that is the first stage. Let's just upgrade this all the way up to the final stage here, because you can understand how this is going to go. His normals will be at 900k, so that's almost 1 million normals. Once he super attacks, his normals will turn into 1.8 million normals. That's almost 2 million normals coming at you. And if he double supers, that's going to really increase the damage. So 100% increase of 2.7 is going to be a, let's see here, 2.5, 5 million, 4. So he's launching about 5.5 million supers after his first super attack. If he double supers, that 5.5 will turn into a 10 million super. So you do have to be very careful about who's tanking his attacks. And by that, I mean you need to dodge or use items. Attack plus 40% with each turn pass, so he will continue to have his damage go up to 160%. I'm not going to tell you how much damage that is. All I'm going to tell you is you probably won't survive short of anything of a miracle. Actions all the way up to 8 normals and then double super. 8 normals, double super. 8 normals, double super. This is preordained. This is what he does every single turn. So try to take advantage of the fact that you know exactly when his attacks will come in. But I do have one thing to make you guys, be wary of. If you are using a unit that disables actions, this will throw off the flow of these. So let's go ahead and say if Gogeta does 7 normals and then you disable an action, he's going to do a normal again. And then he'll finally do the super attack. So if you delay his attacks, you will have to worry about when the next action comes out and worry about where the super attacks come in. If you disable his action too many times, he might end up super attacking in slot 1, frame 1, rather than slot 3. So just be very wary about disabling action on this guy. Be just wary in general. He does a load of damage. The middle one isn't as bad. He's got 250 normals. The 2 first stages are pretty much gimmies, but he can still do some pretty decent damage on you. So once again, do the special battle 2025 to get these orbs right here that you see on the right side of the screen, which should give you a level 9 bronze orb, a level 3 additional orb. Yes, I said level 3 additional orb. Some people aren't paying attention to these. He actually is they only gave him a level 3 additional with a level 6 defense silver. If it wasn't for the fact that the level 6 defense orb is right there, I would not use this. It's only because of that defense orb. If that defense orb didn't exist, I wouldn't want to use this. 3 is ridiculous. We should mandatory have 5s, but it appears that developers are starting to pay attention to these things now. His gold equip is very good, so if you did manage to get 2 dupes of this guy, it's almost mandatory that you have this equipped, and you're going to do some insane levels of damage. But anyways, those are the equipment orbs. That's how you get them. That's what they are. That's how you can defeat it. Well, I'm not going to say that's how you can defeat it, but that is the event that you have to fight. So let's go ahead and finally move on to the build suggestions. Now, I have to do this every bloody time. It is only a suggestion. If you don't like the suggestion, please, by all means, tell me what you decided to go with and whatever's comfortable with you. Dokkan Battle is a 1-player game, and there's no PvP in here. Not real PvP anyways. Don't take it so seriously. Thank you for watching, and have a good day and a good night. Anyways. Now, 55% build-wise, I would honestly just equip his special equips. Now, I don't think his silver one is as great, but at 55%, that extra level 6 defense along with the level 9 defense is clutch, and it really helps him out defensively-wise, especially if you can't get more dupes. But that will put him at a base level of level 5 additional to level 8. That is only a 16% chance to additional. Moving on to the 1 dupe build. Once again, just go ahead and keep the special equips that we already went through. I would highly suggest, once again, bottom right-hand path, by the way. First dupe, always bottom right-hand path. Just use 3 of the nodes for additional, so that should give you an extra 9 on top of the 5 that you have. Naturally, you should be at level 14 additional. With the level 3 equip, that should pump you up to a level 17. A level 17 is a 34% chance to additional. You'll have 1 node left. I would just put it into dodge. There is no reason to give this guy crit. He crits for days. Now moving on to his full dupe build, or rainbow or double dupes, whichever you have of. I would just suggest adding the gold equip that you can get, if you got the gold equip, of course. If you did not get the gold equip or cannot acquire it at the current time, just give him an additional orb in general. If you got the special equip, this should pump his natural level 20 up to a level 29. Level 29 is just shy of a 60% chance to additional. It's about 58% chance. Very good chance to additional still. And then the last node that you'll have available, I would just put it into dodge. Can you give him more dodge? Yeah, you can give him more dodge if you really so chose to. I just don't currently see a purpose when this guy can literally tank just about almost everything we have currently seen thus far. So I don't feel like the dodge is necessary. Maybe in the future, a year down the line, I can see a dodge being mandatory for him potentially. Especially if he's not on a team that focuses and helps him out, like having the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So there's a lot of finicky things here and there that could make you go for a more dodge-centered build, but at the current time of riding, I don't see a point to it. So, but with that being said, let's just go ahead and move on to the roll tips. The roll tips, these are just the suggested leaders. By the way, these are just suggested leaders. These are probably his 3 best teams that you can put him onto. They are by no means the only one. He has so many leader options that are 200 and 220. There's plenty of options. You do not have to stick to these. These are just his best choices in my personal opinion. As far as his role in the fight, he's just straight up tank damage dealer. The only thing he's not doing consistently is supporting. He does have a little bit of support at the beginning of the fight with the 70% defense for superclass allies, but that's only for 4 turns, and that goes away at some point. So he's not necessarily a supportive unit. He's not even orb changing, actually. Is he? Yeah, no, he's not even orb changing. He's a very selfish unit, but he's a very broken, crazy good unit. So he can be a little selfish. He doesn't need to support. There's plenty of other options for supporters. As far as partners go, he has plenty across the board. The Super Saiyan 4 AGL Goku from 10th Anniversary is his best option, of course. Eventually, I imagine we will get a EZA for that Tanabata Int LR Goku, so I put him on there anyways. His best link partner is going to be the physical 7th Anniversary duo that transform into Gogeta, of course. And then we got EZAs coming in for, or Super EZAs specifically for the STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the AGL Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and the Super Saiyan 3 Giant Ape Goku right there. Though I'm a little worried about that one. Now, as far as best slot position goes, you can throw him into any slot. I'll be real with you. He can just go into whatever slot he wants. He's Gogeta. He does what he wants. But he can be thrown into slot 1. So I would suggest putting him in slot 1. If a unit can be a slot 1 unit, they should be a slot 1 unit. But if you need to bend, he can bend. He literally warps reality. he literally, he warps the game to his pleasure. Like this dude is just he's just broken. He's crazy. But anyways, I think that's about it. I like that Gogeta's super simple. He's a lot more simpler than Omega in my personal opinion. He's super fun, great animations. He's literally broken websites already. I'm excited to use him. Let me know if you were able to pull this guy. What team are you going to be using him on the most? What's the highest amount of damage you've got with this guy, actually? I want to know that. And did you use the build suggestion I suggested? Or did you scale and did something else? Let me know down in the comments below. thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you have a good day and a good night.